Yeah, my name's Tony, from Leicester, born and bred. Businessman for 15 years, fairly successful business, employ around 40 people. Um, got involved with the Sangha because I reached a point in my life where I'd made money. I used to have a good looking wife, 3 kids, nice house, everything going. But I felt still there was something missing in my life. It took me on a journey inwards. Got into meditation, and then I needed a group, or I felt I needed a group that was of similar interests. And I looked on the internet, found Triratna Buddhist group, and felt that that was the nearest thing, because I'm not a religious man in any way, shape or form. I felt that was the nearest thing that I could get involved in that would push me in the direction I was looking to go in. And I was very much involved. I threw myself into the Sangha for at least 2 years. And it gave me a different outlet, because after I split up with my wife, prior to that I was out every night, darts, football, cricket, golf, socialising, town, dancing, drinking. And it gave me an outlet that wasn't pub based, where I could still get some social. My main practice, since I've sort of, for the last 4 years, since I've sort of started doing this, I've got one sort of main practice that's totally the same. And that's basically any emotion that comes up, whatever it might be, good or bad, is get out the thinking of it, relax my body, and let the emotion burn out. And I do that, the endeavour certainly is to do that every waking minute. It's not always every waking minute, but that's the endeavour. If I find a particular emotion comes up and I can't get out the thinking of it, then I'll sit in what you would call traditional meditation, and sit because I need to focus. But the vast majority of them, certainly nowadays, I can vent these emotions as I'm moving through the world, as I'm doing whatever I'm doing. That's the endeavour, is to for that constant state of freedom, where you're not at the mercy of the outside world setting off reactions in you. You are, for want of a better word, in control. But I guess the realisation that came to me was that you could keep pushing this and you didn't have to settle for where you was. And it's the only thing I've ever done that's brought any sense of real fulfilment in my life. And it is the main focal point of my life now, because I know that if my spirit's high, I perform better at whatever it is I do, whether it's my relationships, whether it's my business, whether it's sports, whatever I do. I know the higher my spirit is, the better I perform and the better person I am, and the easier life is. So I've made this the central point in my life, because I know that if that's right, everything else falls into place. With each one of these reactions I clear, I become more aware, and I see that the world works differently each time. So week on week, the way I see thoughts, emotions, people and things, how they work, changes each time I clear one out. It becomes more real. I mean, people talk like I'm on cloud cuckoo land, my parents and the likes, but I know that I see it and I can see how it's working better. I mean, I still don't see how it works absolutely, but I can see that with each one I clear, there's a sudden realisation that everything I thought before was wrong. We can go past a reactive, drama-filled life and this belief that he made me angry, or she upset me, or they made me worry, or with that greater sense of freedom, then becomes more life, and within this life becomes the vision that you're talking about, the awareness or the vision or the perception. My perception of life changes with each one of these things that I delete from my system, and I know there's more and more and more and more. So staying on this path. The vision comes from the transformation, and then the transformation comes from the new vision.
How has the Triratna, what we do, how has it helped your journey?
Being around people that want you to grow was a new thing. Being able to express my intellect was something I couldn't really do in the environment I was from, and the Sangha allowed me to express my intellect. What it's good for is holding people and developing friendships and practicing together and support.
What would you say about loving kindness? You've mentioned the metta bhavana that we teach, which is a loving kindness meditation. How does that feature in your practice?
Not a lot. Yeah, loving kindness. I see its benefits and I see what it's about, and I do use it. But it don't feature heavily in my practice. To reach a point of awareness where you feel and see the world as loving is a good aspiration, is a good place to reach on this awareness scale, if we're going to give it a scale. It's said quite often in books that love is our natural state, and it's the reactions that pull us out of that. So if we delete the reactions, we end up loving without trying. And if I never react angrily at anybody, then naturally I'm loving. It's only when I react angrily that now I'm not loving.
Could you say something about your kids? And you said something very interesting once about how if you love them more, you don't put so much pressure on them to succeed in this way or that way. Can you remember saying that? Can you say something about how your relationship with your children has changed?
Well, yeah, without doubt. Well, if you start worrying about your children for a start, it's difficult because people say, well, how can you not worry about your children? This is the trap that we're caught in. This is samsara. How can you not worry about your children? But just looking at worry alone, and then we've got irritation and getting annoyed with them and telling them off and because of stupid things. But if we just looked at worry alone, to stop worrying about your kids, because it don't help. You're worried that they're going to turn out like this or like that, or they should be like this or they should be like that. And as I've let go of these different reactions, my relationship with my kids has improved dramatically. Obviously, when I say don't worry about them, I don't want them to get hurt, but just the allowance to be themselves, whatever that might be, just creates a far richer relationship that I've got between them. We can work with the mind, we can work with their emotion or devotion, and we can work with a physical body, and we can work with the energy, the very life energy that's in us. We can drive this machine from any of those four aspects, and people drive their machines in different ways. So we're on a constant battle. We're working with the mind, but the body's still doing what it does. A person that just works with the body, again, will get some success, but the mind will just follow its patterns, which means it's a constant struggle, just looking at those two. But if we hit all four at the same time and continuously, it's the only way I've found, or the most efficient way I've found, of deleting karma. But to delete the karma, we've got to delete it off all four levels, and karma, we've got to do it simultaneously and continuously, because else we create new. So it's one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. So it's a case of deleting the karma on all four levels and continuously is the fastest way to enlightenment.
There you go, folks. You heard it here. Fastest way to enlightenment by Tony Beale. Thank you, Tony. Much appreciated.